We all know about certain lies that were told during the EU referendum. Boris's big red bus with a big red slogan that almost had more holes in it than one of my Yorkshire tea bags. The Leave campaign promised us two things that stood out. What are those two things? That's coming up. As Theresa May headed to the G20 summit, she refused to make a pledge about the point system that was continually drummed into us, and of course the NHS. She was also on the Andrew Marr show on Sunday, and she wouldn't even answer questions on grammar schools. Andrew Marr even pointed out, well, that's not an answer to the question, and it's a habit that politicians unfortunately have drummed into them. But back to the NHS, she failed to clarify whether the NHS is going to get the extra £100 million a week. And I pointed out a while ago that funds have been reduced this year, going against the promise that was set by the government. On the point of a points-based system for immigration, May questioned whether or not this kind of system works with regards to letting people in based on their skills. It has worked for Australia for years, and don't we want people in this country that benefit the system and the services rather than being subject to homelessness and having employers take the mickey through the amount of pay they get? But with regards to the NHS, we all know there is a shortage of medical staff within the service. So why will she not honour the pledges promised by the Leave campaign? After all, she has said a number of times that Brexit means Brexit. So surely that means every promise that they made, doesn't it? Unless it doesn't meet the needs of the Conservatives. So the NHS and immigration is still looking to suffer even after Brexit. The new contract brought in by Jeremy Hunt is causing junior doctors to react. So the fact that May is now not going to increase funding on a service that is already struggling is not good news. The junior doctors are obviously not happy with the new contract, working more weekends for not really any extra pay, longer hours as well, and that has to be detrimental to the capabilities and the quality of the service. I was watching Sunday Morning Live just gone, and everyone was criticising the doctors as purely striking for more pay, and I don't think that is what it's about. There seems to be, at least, an underlying agenda by the government. It's obvious they don't want to put more funding into the NHS. Many of us feel it is down to them wanting it privatised, but it is struggling and with waiting times and operations, etc. Get the doctors to work longer hours, giving more time to sort the problems out without it really costing the government any real hard work. Sunday Morning Live went out on the streets and asked members of the public about the strike, and many of them said the young doctors were out of order. Patients will be in pain and they will suffer. But should any of us be in a job where we the workers should suffer? Not one of them asked actually said that the contract will put arguably the health of the doctors through long hours and more work in jeopardy. And the fact that the government will not give the NHS more funding, we cannot blame the doctors. The doctors are striking for the things that I have mentioned. If someone is overworked, tired and mentally brittle, how can they perform at their best? Long term, the doctors want a better service for us and them, better working environment, and that can only be achieved through maintaining a high level work quality. It seems once again we have a Prime Minister, who was not elected by the way, that has made promises and already she is backing away from them. In my opinion, using scare tactics with regards to the economy, saying there are difficult times ahead, and yet for the moment at least, it is doing better than anyone thought it would. It strikes me that the government didn't want or expect Brexit to happen. Many people voted on the premise of the funds being promised to the NHS. It doesn't meet the agenda of the government, and because May has not been definite in Brexit means Brexit and what exactly that entails, there is a smokescreen, I feel, developing over the final direction of where we are going. And the fact yet again that funds promised for the NHS are not going to be given, the whole thing smells like a week-old bandage. Are you a young doctor? Tell me your thoughts of what's going on. Do you think there will be light at the end of the tunnel? Let me know your answer to any of these questions, and quite soon I am thinking of doing a Q&A video on me. Let me know what you think about that. If you support the doctors, click thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.